Hello there, little dreamers. Welcome to a very special story time. I'm so happy you're here because today we're going on a magical journey through a glowing forest filled with secrets, sparkle, and something very brave. This isn't just any story. It's about a quiet hero named Poka, a mysterious creature named Glimbo, and a treasure that only appears to those with true courage. You'll meet a forest full of talking animals, enchanted buttons, and a countdown to something big. Have you ever tried really hard to reach a goal, even when it felt impossible? Have you stayed strong, even when others tried to stop you? That's the kind of story we're about to hear. So snuggle in, open your heart, and get ready to follow the trail of golden coins, because this is the story of Poka and the 1,000 coins. In a forest where the mushrooms glowed softly at night and the trees whispered ancient songs in the breeze, there was a village hidden under petals, pine cones, and stars. And in that village lived a small red woodland creature named Poka. Poka was no ordinary creature. She had smooth, velvety red fur, a light pink belly, big round eyes full of wonder, and floppy ears tipped in white. She was kind, helpful, and always thinking. She loved quiet mornings, warm root tea, and fixing things that others thought were broken. One morning, the great water wheel at the village center stopped turning. The fountains dried. The lanterns dimmed. The flowers drooped like they were waiting for something. Everyone panicked. Everyone but Poka. She took out her tiny tools, squinted into the gears, and got to work. With care and patience, she twisted, turned, tightened, and tapped until creak, click, whirr! The wheel began to spin again. Water flowed, lights returned, cheers rose all around her. Mayor Bumbletuft, the tall, noble lion who led the village with strength and sparkle, arrived with a proud smile. His golden mane glowed in the sunlight, and his crystal-tipped cane tapped joyfully on the stones. For bravery, wisdom, and kindness, he announced, Poka shall receive 1,000 gold coins from the Golden Vault. The crowd cheered. Poka's heart fluttered. With that reward, she could finally open the legendary treasure gate, an ancient stone door deep in the forest that only opened when exactly 1,000 coins were placed before it. Inside, they said, was a treasure that granted abundance to those who earned it with heart. But there was a rule, a very strict one. The gate would only open before the 12th full moon rise. After that, it would seal forever. Poka had 12 days. She smiled gently and whispered, "That's more than enough." But someone else was watching. from behind twisted vines and hollowed logs, a large green teardrop-shaped creature narrowed his one mischievous eye. His name was Glimbo. With a rubbery body, twitchy antennae, and long bendy arms, Glimbo wasn't just strange, he was scheming. On his round belly glowed a set of magical emotion buttons, each labeled with a feeling. Fear, sadness, silence, pity. And Glimbo, oh Glimbo, he didn't like heroes. He liked control. That night, when the moon was hidden behind clouds, Glimbo crept into the vault. He wiggled past the seals, snuck under the shimmer webs, and used his sly envy button to unlock the golden chest. Then, poof, the coins were gone, hidden in his burrow beneath the roots of a twisted oak. The next morning, Poka arrived to collect her reward, but the chest was empty. Not a single coin remained. She stared at the empty box. The mayor looked confused. The villagers murmured. No one knew what had happened. Poka didn't argue. She simply nodded and quietly walked home. That night, she sat on her wooden porch under the starlight. Her ears drooped gently, her hands in her lap. Clink! A single coin rolled to her feet. She looked around. No one was there. The next morning, it happened again and again. Each time she looked sad, just a little lower, a little more tired. A coin would appear, sometimes near her doormat, other times by the garden. Always one, only one. What Poka didn't know was that Glimbo was watching. He hid behind mushrooms and chimneys, giggling to himself. Each time he saw Poka look defeated, he pressed the glowing blue pity button on his belly. Magical sparks would fly, and the coin would appear. He was playing a game, a cruel one. He wanted her to beg, to cry, to break. But Poka didn't. She carved a wooden box and began saving each coin inside. She drew a chart on her wall, marking how many she received each day. Day 1, 4 coins. She had felt so confused. Day 2, 3 coins. She let out a tired sigh. Day 3, 2 coins. She dropped a spoon in frustration. Day 4, 1 coin. She sat quietly for hours. Day 5 to day 10. Some days, none. Some days, 1. She smiled less. She sang less, but she never cried. Each night, she counted what she had. Each morning, she made tea and tried again. By day 11, she had only 23 coins, far, far from 1,000. That evening, she sat under the lantern tree again, ears drooping, but her eyes still clear. And that's when she heard it. Flap! Whoosh! Thump! A majestic owl landed in front of her, silver feathers glinting in the moonlight. It was the forest security owl, the guardian of justice. In his claws was a heavy velvet sack. "Miss Poka," he said in a deep, serious voice, "we've discovered a stolen stash beneath Glimbo's den. 1,000 gold coins. Yours." Poka gasped. "Tricks always leave trails," the owl added. I followed his silence. Poka clutched the sack to her chest and ran. Through silver ferns, under glowing vines, across moonlit bridges. The sky turned blue. The full moon began to rise. She reached the legendary treasure gate just as the moon touched the center of the sky. Her paws shook as she poured the coins onto the stone plate. Clink, clink, clink. A great rumble echoed through the forest. The gate glowed and creaked and opened. Behind it lay a world of wonder. Piles of gold, sparkling jewels, magical scrolls, and fountains of stardust that danced in the air. Mayor Bumbletuft arrived, leading a crowd of woodland villagers. Glimbo slinked behind, trying to look innocent. But the owl landed beside the mayor, holding the report. Mayor Bumbletuft turned to Glimbo with calm authority. "We know what you did." Glimbo gulped. He reached for his pity button, pressed, but this time no spark, no coin, no power. The button flickered and went dark. The crowd turned away from him. They turned to Poka instead, the one who never banged, never broke, and still opened the gate. And in that moment, something changed in the forest. Not because of the gold, but because of what Poka proved. Sometimes kindness is quiet. Sometimes strength is still. Sometimes you don't need to shout to be heard. And when someone tries to control you with pity or silence, stay steady, stay true, because truth leaves tracks and courage finds a way. Poka never banged, and still she opened the gate. And so Poka stood in front of the treasure gate, not because she begged or cried or gave up, but because she believed. She stayed kind, and she never lost hope. The silence didn't win. The tricks didn't last. Her heart did. Wasn't that powerful? What would you have done in Poka's place? Would you have kept going, one coin at a time, even if it took 12 days? Sometimes magic doesn't come with sparkles or wands. It comes from standing tall when it's hard, from being kind when others aren't. That's how Poka became the true treasure in the story. Thank you for being here with me and joining in Poka's adventure. If you liked this story, be sure to follow along because we have many more tales waiting with mystery, mischief, and magic around every corner. Until next time, Keep your eyes open, your heart brave, and your imagination wide. Goodbye, little heroes. See you in the next story.